For the final challenge in this lineup, the format goes back to something almost meditative in how simple it sounds: 15 wooden toothpicks per player, one watermelon sitting a short distance away, and a single objective: throw as many toothpicks as possible so they actually stick into the fruit. Whoever lands the most out of their 15 walks away with roughly 1 million dong. No elaborate rule set required beyond staying seated in one designated spot and throwing directly at the target. It sounds almost too easy for a channel that usually leans on knives, timers, and physical endurance, but watch a few throws in and you quickly realize how much genuine skill separates a good round from a bad one. Toothpicks are lightweight, thin, and aerodynamically unpredictable, which means even a technically accurate throw can bounce right off the watermelon's rind instead of sticking. You need the right combination of angle, force, and spin. Too soft and it just falls short, too hard and it ricochets away on impact instead of digging in. That fine margin between success and failure is exactly what makes a seemingly basic throwing game genuinely tense to watch unfold. You can see the difference in technique from player to player almost immediately. Some throw quickly, treating it like a volume game, firing off toothpick after toothpick and hoping enough of them land through sheer repetition. Others slow way down, studying the watermelon, adjusting their grip, clearly trying to find some kind of consistent throwing motion they can repeat 15 times in a row. Neither approach is obviously correct, and that uncertainty is part of the appeal, because you genuinely cannot predict who is going to pull ahead until the sticks start actually counting. The group energy around every throw adds another layer entirely. Friends leaning in to track each stick as it lands, arguing over whether a wobbly toothpick that barely stayed upright actually counts, calling out the running tally after every few throws to build tension as the numbers climb. By the time someone is closing in on a genuinely high count deep into their 15 attempts, the reactions from everyone watching get louder and more invested, because at that point it stops feeling like a random throwing game and starts feeling like a real competition worth caring about. There is also something quietly funny about how much this challenge exposes who actually has decent hand-eye coordination among a group of friends who probably never had a reason to find out before this exact moment. What makes this a genuinely satisfying way to close out a lineup of much more chaotic, high-pressure challenges is the pacing. After eating races, spinning wheels, and balance tests built around adrenaline and panic, ending on something quieter, more repetitive, almost rhythmic in how each throw builds on the last, gives the whole format a nice sense of closure. It proves that even the simplest possible premise, just a stick and a piece of fruit, can still produce a genuinely tense finish when there is real money and real bragging rights riding on every single throw. It also leaves you with a small, almost accidental piece of practical wisdom worth remembering. Watching enough throws land, and enough throws bounce harmlessly off the rind, you start to notice the players who succeed most consistently are rarely the ones throwing the hardest. They are the ones who found a rhythm early, kept their motion identical from throw to throw, and let consistency do the work that raw power alone never could. That quiet realization, buried inside a game about sticking toothpicks into fruit, ends up being a pretty fitting note to close out an entire lineup of challenges built around exactly that same lesson: patience and precision beating brute force again and again.